Hi, I'm Kek Vest, and welcome to my channel. Bonjour, bienvenue, je m'appelle Kek Vest. Well, I got the opportunity of a lifetime since starting my YouTube channel, Fighting Hate 101. I got the opportunity to meet and do a podcast with Canada's most censored man, historically, Kevin J Johnston. I'm assuming that if you're on my channel, you already know who he is. Kevin offered to be on my show and help me grow my channel, while at the same time hash out some issues with his latest post on Facebook, which was literally hate speech, literally the kind of thing that I myself would have censored, which is what made the discussion so fascinating. Primarily, I was just thrilled that Kevin J Johnston was willing to take time out of his busy schedule to let me interview him on my channel. I don't have near the experience that Kevin has in podcasts, and he was throwing me a bone by taking the side of the debate, which, let's face it, is an untenable situation. The problem is that in the interim, YouTube had decided that my channel, Fighting Hate 101, was putting you, the public, in danger. So they removed my channel, and I never got the opportunity to explore this on my YouTube channel. Now that my channel is back, I'm hoping that you enjoy it. This is my best attempt to keep up with Canada's most censored man, Kevin J Johnston.
Hey everybody, Kevin J Johnston here. I just wanted to apologize for us starting the show late today. I know we're 34 minutes late at the beginning of the show, but with me being in Costa Rica and the rainstorm that we had coming down knocked the power out of the town, so we had no power of any kind. The way it was supposed to work tonight is that Kekfest out in Hamilton, he's a very interesting cat in that he asks the best questions. He was going to run this show, but we couldn't start on time. Obviously, I couldn't start anything on time tonight because power failure in the entire neighborhood where I reside. The backup battery was burned out in the first half an hour. So I had to walk in the rain. There's my umbrella, completely wet. I had to walk in the rain 4 kilometers to get to this cafe where I've had to buy an Oreo milkshake to be able to sit here and talk to all of you. So Keck is this is his show tonight. Ed, if you could put the overlay up, please. Ed, not that one. The red one, red strip at the bottom. Keck, are you there? Not that one. Red strips, top and bottom. There you go. That's it. Done. Keck, are you there?
I am there. Am I too loud? I just realized how loud I was.
Keck, you're good. Listen, I told everybody this is supposed to be your show tonight. So
Okay.
I just had to explain to everybody that I had to walk to this cafe here to be able to be on this show. So there I am. Okay, so I'm downtown Uvita right now. All right. It's believe me, I'm not happy about the fact that I couldn't do the show where I was supposed to be doing the show. All my gear was laid out and ready to go. But Keck, you want to be here today because you had a series of questions for me. Well, and I cannot wait to hear what it is you want to talk about. So you're up, buddy. You're up.
Okay. Well, part of it is like you, I'm suddenly scatterbrained, and I don't have the questions in front of me. I'm also a little disappointed because I don't see the person that had the question. What started our conversation is I'm in a group called the Hamilton Freedom Rally on Facebook, and your post that I'm hoping we can discuss right now was criminal, and it pissed off a couple of people. And even though they're the trolls in our group, I honestly can't dismiss their objection.
Maybe we should cover what it was. Well, actually, why don't we put together the entire context of this?
Okay. Yeah, because I'm trying to multitask. I'm trying to scroll and find the 2 to 3 questions while I have it ready.
Okay.
But
what I'll do. Yeah. Oh my God.
Unless you can take the floor for 2 minutes.
I can indeed. So what happened here, everybody, is obviously I'm running for mayor of Mississauga, and I have to do it from Costa Rica because, as was pointed out to me by a couple of crown attorneys in the province of Ontario and a few not so decent lawyers and so on, that if I was ever to run for mayor of Mississauga again, that they would lock me up immediately, which you saw them do not once, not twice, not thrice, not 4 times, but 5 times in Calgary. Well, I figure, sitting in a cage with nothing to do is pretty boring, and it really is a piss off. There is nothing worse than being in solitary confinement, which that they would do to me again. So what I decided to do was come down to Costa Rica, try to have some opportunity, because there are no opportunities in Canada. And then when we found out that Bonnie Crombie, the maniac criminal mayor of the city of Mississauga, who has utilized the police to go out of their way to harass me and my family, when she said she had to step down on January the 12th of next year, I figured, all right, that means there's a by-election coming, and that means I'm going to run. I'll be running my entire campaign digitally from here in Costa Rica. I have 5 campaign guarantees, not promises, but guarantees of things that I will get done come hell or high water. And Keck, I believe, is either you or some of your compatriots there, or just maybe someone that you knew, objected to what I had said. And I'm here to clarify that for you now.
And myself, it's not that I object; it's that I think you're crazy, right? I'm going to read this word for word. Their job: use extreme violence against, and then a list of basically your pedophile types, groomers, drag show queens, etc. I'm amazed that Facebook still hasn't removed it.
Well, actually, I didn't put it on Facebook. If you remember correctly, it was part of my show. It was on Rumble, BitChute, and a few other platforms that are not as radical as Zuckerberg's Facebook. So I'll go through the 5 guarantees that I'm making when I'm mayor of Mississauga. Number 1, Bonnie Crombie is going to jail. That's it. Mississauga Mayor Bonnie Crombie, she cooperated with the World Economic Forum. She cooperated with the World Health Organization. She's responsible for the better part of 20,000 plus dead people in Mississauga from forcing them to get needles. I'm going to help Mississauga business people sue her and take her house and take everything she's got because she shut down their businesses and destroyed their livelihoods. But you'll notice that she's still making her 6 figures. Well, that's number 1. Number 2 is I'm going to yank the city of Mississauga out of Peel region, because Brampton and Caledon are both a lost cause. Those cities have nothing to offer anyone. They don't make money, and they drain the resources of my hometown of Mississauga. So pulling us out of that region is a very good idea. And that means I would also be canceling the contract with Peel Regional Police. They are mostly far left and crazy. They don't police the streets. They don't keep people safe. What they do is they police speech in Peel region. That's all that they do. They are of absolutely no value. However, I've had the opportunity to speak to a large number of officers on that force, because there's about 2,400 officers. And there are still some masculine men who are conservative who hate the left-wing cops they have to work with. So what I want to do is form a brand new police department, not a police service, but a police department made up entirely of hyper-masculine men who at least know how to pretend to care about human beings, who will actually serve and protect, as opposed to taking phone calls from people that got their feelings hurt. Next, of course, I said I was going to kill all the red tape in town, get rid of it all. So business owners will not be harassed by bylaw officers anymore. If the province comes in to inspect your business when you open up and they're giving you a tough time, if they issue a single threat, we'll have them charged with intimidation and harassment, criminal harassment, possibly extortion. I want to make sure that everybody who wants to run a business in Mississauga can do so. And then I did say, and my 5th one is this, because I'm tired of pedophiles, because they sicken me to no end, because I'm sick to death of the fact that our entire government is based on the love of pedophilia. We have a pedophile running our country right now, and the courts are all on his side. So I said I was going to have a secret police force. You wouldn't even see their faces. They report directly to me. I called them the Brass Knuckle Brigade. I'm pretty sure we're going to have to rename them at some point in the future. And their job is to ensure that drag queens who are dancing in front of children on any city property at all get dealt with a pair of brass knuckles to the teeth. And then they get arrested. Then they get publicly shamed. Then the city is going to hit them with a major lawsuit and bankrupt them. Pedophiles have no place in our society. any man who wants to put on a dress and dance in front of children should be castrated publicly if you want the truth. That's what I honestly believe. But when you take knives to people, they tend to die. But when you take brass knuckles to people, you tend to scar them for life, and they learn a very valuable lesson. In fact, I was a big mouth kid, and I was a real smart ass in grade 7, grade 8. I took a really good punch in the face one day, and I realized, oh, this particular way of doing things isn't good. People don't like it. And that's where our society has gone. We have the police. I'm sure there's a lot of pedophiles on the Peel Regional Police Force because they are far left as a police force could ever possibly be. The judges, they protect these guys. The administrators protect these guys. The school boards are these guys and protect these guys. Nobody seems to care about kids anymore at all. I do. And I'm fully prepared to hire a secret police force to deal with perverts and pedophiles. Children are going to be safe in my hometown. And the only way to effectively get anything done in Canada now, because there is no rule of law in Canada. It is a fascist, communist state where pretty much anything goes so long as you work for the government. Well, that goes both ways. So if I'm going to be in a governmental position, especially the mayor of my hometown, believe me, I will abuse that power exactly like they have abused that power. However, I'm going to abuse it to protect people, not to hurt them and not to steal from them like Bonnie Crombie's doing now. Maybe that clarifies a few things.
It certainly does. Thank you for that. That clarified everything of where you're at. But the post that I'm referring to on Facebook says it literally. I'm going to read it from Facebook. I got this off of Facebook, nowhere else. Their job, what you just described, it said the brass knuckle. Is it the brass knuckle crew?
Brigade, BBB, BKB.
The brass knuckle brigade, and it says their job: use extreme violence against child groomers, pedophiles, drag queens, and there was a fourth one I can't remember. But pretty much groomers and pedos, right?
Right.
So okay, so you do acknowledge that was on Facebook. Is Ed? You're still there? Can you do me a favor? No. Okay.
I only have Facebook on my.
No, Ed, put the slide up. Ed, the slide is in. It's on the right side there. Put the slide up.
Oh, this is your post.
Yeah, this is actually the post. This is the advertising piece. This is my.
This is where the beef is. No, not that one.
No, Ed. But you do see the graphic there.
That's a pretty menacing looking graphic, which by itself I would say don't ban that from hate speech. But if the trans person in my group sent me your post, you're absolutely right, I would have deleted it. Right? Because it clearly threatens violence. That's pretty much the only line in our Facebook group. Like we're free street.
It's not a threat to anybody in particular. It's a statement.
It's a promise.
It's a guarantee that we are going to have a brass knuckle brigade who are going to protect children. That's what I'm saying here. There is a guarantee. Now, Antifa has been allowed to use fascist terror tactics for the last 7 years straight that I can remember. Black Lives Matter. They've done the exact same thing. They are a terrorist group, no matter how you look at it.
Well, if they get away with it,
Communist League of Ottawa. Yes. Well, do you know why they get away with it? It's because the left wing run the police and the courts. That's what I'm trying to say to you here. So
I understand that.
Yes. So with me being slightly right of center, I'm promising to use Antifa's tactics right now against one specific group of people. That would be the pedophiles of Mississauga. And unfortunately, with 1.2 million people in my hometown, there are a lot of pedophiles there. Could you imagine how quickly they would just pick up and leave if they knew that there was a brigade coming to get them? Go ahead, Ed.
These are not Antifa tactics. The brass knuckles are way too heavy for them to even get them.
Yes, they are. Ed, take the slide down. I prefer to look at my own face.
Can I address your question?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Your question was, can you imagine if they found out that there's a brigade of brass knuckles that are hunting them down? Can you imagine the backlash that you would get?
Yes.
What?
From
Right?
who?
Yes.
From
Yes.
who?
I can imagine the backlash that I would get, but who? Why would I care? First off, that's the question. Would I care? And secondly, what would the backlash end up being? It'd be a bunch of losers standing in front of City Hall with a bunch of signs up there saying pedo rights. Like that's pretty much what they would be doing.
That's what
Who cares?
that's what they're doing when we're speaking out against the UN Compact on Migration. You start saying that you're going to start whacking people at random, and that is what would end up happening, right?
Who said anything about whacking anyone? Come on.
Oh, giving someone a whack, right? Punching them in their face, whatever, right?
No,
More than just mean words that we normally throw at them.
No, you're implying stuff, and so is the left. And that's what they like to do. They like to imply stuff.
Everybody likes to imply stuff. But what I'm trying to tell you is this, is that the tactics that they have used, they have gotten away with it because the courts and the police are left wing.
Mm-hmm. I'm not arguing. Not that Hamilton's police haven't done an excellent job, but that is true.
Yes, okay. But this
I can only speak for Hamilton.
I got you, but I want to speak for the Peel Regional Police Force, who, with all their stupid diversity hires and the fact that they want to try to make the police force 50-50 men and women, they've really screwed themselves up, because what they've done is they've gone to the bottom of the barrel of human beings and brought them into this police force. Then what they said was, you don't have to be fit anymore or strong, and you don't have to shoot at an accuracy of 85% anymore. It used to be that if you did not shoot at an accuracy of 85% or higher, you got your gun taken away and you got a desk job. Well, now the police force are a complete bunch of wimps, but they still have powers of arrest. And they are not arresting Antifa. They are not arresting Black Lives Matter. They are not arresting pedophiles. And whenever they do arrest someone who hurts children deliberately, they get bail the same day. Whereas I had to rot in a jail cell for 9 weeks because what did I do? I cracked a couple of jokes online. Think about that. So I'm going to, like I told you, Keck, I'm going to abuse my authority in order to protect children. And I'm admitting to it right here. I will abuse that power of the office of the mayor to protect the children of Mississauga. So who else out there would have the balls to do what I'm saying to you? And I can tell you this in Canada,
it's not about balls. And I am not saying that you don't have balls to steal. Like I recognize that you put yourself in some very stressful situations. It makes for good video, trust me. But I understand that you could be killed tomorrow for speaking ill about Islam. I have no doubt about that. And I have no doubt that you could end up locked up tomorrow over a crime or someone's petty dispute with you. I'm not going to name names, but people that have personal vendettas with you that will just do what they have to screw you over, right?
I understand. Understand this, Ken. Right now, I am in Costa Rica. I am outside of the jurisdiction of every level of government in Canada, period. Okay, so whatever I'm saying right now, I am in the city of Uvita in Costa Rica.
Do you think
Costa Rican law applies right now, not Canadian law? Now, I'm not threatening any one particular individual, period. And if you're going to sit there and tell me that stating that I despise pedophiles and they must be dealt with is somehow hate speech, then you're part of the problem. And I'm not saying you specifically.
No, I know what you're saying.
Anybody out there is part of the problem. So the thing here is, when I win the mayor's seat, I'd have a commissioner of oaths would definitely come down here. I would meet them at the Canadian embassy. I would swear myself in, then go back to Ontario and run my city my way.
Just now, because you're
point. Go ahead.
I was going to say, just because I didn't mean to talk over you, but just because you're mayor doesn't mean that you can't go to jail for things that you do.
Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
Look at what Bonnie Crombie did as the mayor of Mississauga. Look at every single crime that she's committed. There's warrants for her arrest in Myanmar. Oh, we lost Ed. There's warrants for her arrest in Myanmar right now for terrorism, funding of terrorism. So think about that. She can fund terror groups and she can take money from terror groups in the city of Mississauga, and the cops don't give a crap because the one specific terrorist that she works with gives them free food. So cops will turn a blind eye to anything in Canada for a sandwich. Think about how pathetic our entire country has become.
But what she has is she has financial backing.
Yes, she does.
I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying that what's working is working, right? What I am saying is that um and it's too bad that Ed went. I sent him a picture of your post so that we're talking about the same post. Is that Ed?
Yeah, how did you send the picture? I'm not going anywhere.
I sent you through Messenger.
Is it a different picture?
It was the one you posted, the one that pissed me off. Then pissed off. Well, not pissed me. It didn't piss me off. It concerned me that the police were going to knock on your door that night, or that within an hour. To be honest with you.
Well, I can say okay, but again, I'm in the jurisdiction of Costa Rica.
Well, yeah, I didn't know you were out of the country, but right. I'm like, as soon as I read that, I'm like, they're going to show up at your door and they're going to put you in handcuffs, right?
If I was in Canada, they possibly would. Yeah, actually, they would do it just for me announcing that I'm going to run for mayor of Mississauga. Just for that announcement, they would be at my front door regardless if I was in Ontario right now. So think about that. Think about how pathetic our country has become, that I have to leave to run a campaign and tell the truth about what's going on.
Or that you would push it to that point.
I actually, funny enough, I haven't pushed a damn thing. Really, because what I said there is pretty much what I would say 95% of people believe. Only the sickos out there bring their children to these drag queen story times. What kind of a parent brings their child to something like that? They're pretty sick people. Their brains are broken, but the other 95% of people whose brains are not broken would side with me on this one. Could you imagine? Just imagine the international press with me in my nice suit and tie as the mayor of the city, warning every pedophile in town, hey guys, time's up. And I let my force go. Do your thing.
Okay, but what about the people of Mississauga? Don't misunderstand me. I think you're going to make a good mayor, but
I'll make a hell of a mayor.
Realistically, the problem with what you're talking about is it has been tried before, right? And what ends up happening is you end up going from the criminal element to people that are not criminals, people that are innocent. We become worse than Antifa. You mentioned earlier, you said, well, Antifa gets away with this and Antifa gets away with that, and I wouldn't dispute that for a second. But why are you not on their side then? They're obviously get all the power.
Because their side is all about destruction.
Exactly.
Their side is about ripping society apart.
Exactly.
Their side is all about protection of pedophiles. Their side is about everything that is moralistically reprehensible, the type of thing that we would have gone to war over back in the 70s, they represent. Think about how awful those particular groups are. And think about the fact that we have half of our police forces in the country are filled with them and people who think like them. And they've got body armor and guns. And they're walking around town policing guys like you and me and Ed and Chris Sky, Archer Pawlowski, Pat King, and the rest of us. They are detaining us. They are assaulting us. They're pointing weapons at us. They're locking us in cages. Why?
Yes.
Because our IQs are definitely higher than the average. Our vocabularies are certainly bigger than the average. We see things differently. We see right through the crap that they're forcing on us. And we're telling the truth, which people don't hear very often. So we have audiences because people are starving for the truth. And the truth is, pedophiles need the actions that I am proposing because they are bullies. They'll keep hurting children until they themselves are the absolute victim of exactly what they are delivering to children. Look,
Keck,
let me just
hang on. Keck, what is your line in the sand?
My advocating for violence to win my line in the sand is mob justice, right? That's what Antifa does. Antifa is mob justice. Somebody in the crowd shouts witch, and the mob goes after them. And once you start a mob going after people, my concern for this person in my freedom group, she's trans. She's not a pedophile. She just, for some weird reason, likes to pretend that she's a chick, right?
Okay.
But that's
not the person I'm talking about.
But she does.
That's not even the mindset that I'm talking about.
But
go ahead.
But she is her concern, and I wish Al were on right now because I'd like you to tell the Al space that if she goes into the men's washroom and one of your goons get away from themselves, like they're more concerned just if they become like Antifa, then what's going to end up happening is they're going to end up going after people like Bobby or even Ellie.
Okay,
Because
I don't
Bobby,
know. I don't know who Bobby is. Look, let's cover.
she's a trans person, a transgender that will go into a women's washroom. If one of your crew sees her go into a woman's washroom, what's going to happen to her?
Is Bob? Okay, hold on. Is Bob a biological male?
You can absolutely refer to Bobby as Bob, and Bobby absolutely is a biological male.
Then why would Bob? For just look, you have to clarify this for me before I can.
Okay,
answer.
no, I understand.
Why does Bob need to go into the women's washroom or change room?
Because she believes that she's free to stand wherever she wishes to stand.
Okay, well,
and because it's
the
legal
laws that we had,
and because it's legal for her to do so, as I'm starting to see it. I see signs all over the place.
All right, so let's cover this for a second. What if I put a wig on right now and walked into some women's change room at the YMCA? How quickly do you think that I'd be arrested? Because I don't conform to the left-wing thinking. I don't make public declarations that this is who and what I am, and that somehow it's good because I've got a penis and a wig on to go into a girl's change room. Just because I say I'm a woman doesn't mean I am. If I have a Y chromosome in my body, I am not a woman, no matter what.
But the law says that you're allowed to do just that and put on a wig. And yes, you would get arrested because you're Kevin J Johnston, not because of what you're doing. If Ed Janicek put on a wig and a dress, give me a second to get the visual.
No,
wow.
No. I don't want to. No.
Anyways, if put Ed in a dress and maybe a little bit of lipstick to walk into the washroom, right? I don't think Ed would. And he's what, 6'4"? How tall are you?
6'3".
Yeah, you're not a small person. So, I mean, if you walked into a woman's washroom and I were a woman, that you would scare the hell out of me. But you wouldn't get arrested. I don't think Ed would get arrested for doing that.
Actually, I've walked into women's washrooms many times without a wig, without a dress.
With a daughter or something, like with a child?
No, when I worked at the hospital, I had to clean the.
Oh, okay.
Knock on the door, coming in to clean. Anybody in there? Asked twice. Nobody said anything. Have the cleaning lady go in front of me. Clear. Leave the door open.
And Ed, I recall walking into the women's washroom once at a golf course because they had these stupid paintings on the wall. They were like Klimt style paintings. I couldn't tell which was man and women, so I walked into what I thought was the men's washroom. I saw two women doing makeup at the mirror, and my eyes went whoa, and I just turned around and burned right out. And they were both laughing because they could see my legitimate embarrassment. A man should be embarrassed to even consider walking into a room. That is a woman's space. And I don't care if you call yourself a trans woman. If you have a penis, you're not a woman. Doesn't matter what you think and what the law says, period. Now, our good friend Ellie, and I have to clear this up, I consider Ellie a friend of mine. Ellie is someone, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I would consider you, Ellie, a friend as well, yes. Obviously.
And for those who don't know, Ellie got the complete sex change surgery at age 58. And 60 years old now. And I've had many conversations with her, and I call her because she has earned my respect as a colleague and a friend. All right, that's what it takes to get what you want in the way of these pronouns. Okay, is earn people's respect. You don't just declare something and have me go along with it. You're going to get a middle finger every single time. So Ellie, without a penis now, could definitely use a women's washroom because at this particular point, she would legally be recognized as a woman in the old school way of thinking. But this Bob person, and I don't know them, and I would like to actually speak with them prior to making any judgments. But if you're a man and you put a wig on and a dress, you're still a man. Stay the hell out of women's change rooms, women's bathrooms. I don't care what rights you think you have. The answer is no.
Now, how about all the people that are using the trans movement to go into washrooms and to, have their way with little kids? This is happening.
You think that a sign on the door would stop them? It does enable things.
Yes, it enables things. It makes people braver.
It enables situations.
Right. When you enable somebody, they'll do it. That's just how it is. That's how it is, guys.
So there was a man in Markham a couple weeks ago. I forget the exact age. I think Rebel Media, Menzies actually covered it. Swimming competition, men's, women's, and trans.
Yeah.
The guy did not want to compete with the men, but he wanted to compete with the women, but he never entered the trans competition. He came in 6th anyways. Why was he changing with young little girls? Why was he in the same change room?
Yeah, 50-year-old man changing with 13-year-old girls.
I don't know what's wrong here.
I don't understand why a 50-year-old was competing with 13-year-old girls in the first place.
Because everybody in this country have become a bunch of cowards, and what they're doing is accommodating those who just bitch and moan and complain. Here's the deal. Anybody who says they're trans represents less than 1/10 of 1% of the entire population. The needs of the many will always outweigh the needs of the few or the crazy. And I do not care that you are upset about the fact that you exist outside of the norm. Too bad. Guess what, Keck? You and me, we are also outside of the norm.
Absolutely.
You and I think differently, so we are nowhere near the center hub of society. You and I are way out on the edge of the rubber tire. That's just how it is. We just happen to be in a position where we can think reasonably, speak reasonably, and deal with life reasonably. That is why you and I are having this conversation here, because you reasonably took objection to what I posted. And I'm reasonably speaking to you about it because I appreciate the fact that you were man enough to actually contact me and tell me this like a man. I salute that behavior. And that's why you and I are doing this. Now, everybody else, though, they just call me names and they disappear. They don't say a word, but they still keep going into the bathrooms. Go ahead, Ed.
You ever heard of a guy by the name of Morgenthaler?
Dr. Henry Moore, the abortion doctor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever seen an abortion? You want to talk about violence of the most extreme kind?
Mm-hmm.
And yet this is legal in our society. How's that possible? I thought life was precious.
How it became possible because of the Overton window shifted. When I was in high school, the debate was not anything more than for cases of rape and rape only, basically, or if the mother's in danger. Like when this was the social argument at the time was, the counter argument was, but what about rape? But what about the life of the mother being in jeopardy? And that was in 1987. Now we're in 2023, and you can just say, I don't feel like having the kid, and they'll do an abortion. The Overton window shifted. Sorry.
Okay, well that's a good
right.
No, it's a good point.
Oh no, it's not right. Yeah. Right. I was on the fence with I was actually kind of pro-abortion back then, but I've seen the slippery slope of where it could ended is exactly where it's ended, with abortion and a whole lot of other things.
Now we have maids, medical assistants in dying.
Yeah, that's just where that can go.
Don't have to be notified. How about that?
Wait until about again with the Overton window. Wait about 30 years, and MAID will be, if you don't have enough money to survive, they'll put you out of your misery.
I'm good.
Anyways, can you send Elle a link so we can get her on?
Yes, I actually. Yeah, definitely get Ellie on the show, because I always love talking to Ellie. You know, the best part about Ellie.
Who is it you're talking to? Am I getting Ellie on?
You see,
someone get her on?
I don't have her contact info.
Oh, okay. I can try to contact her, but before I do, I don't want to lose what I have on the phone. I want to go back to my the trans woman in my group. She had some questions for you.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and ask.
They were valid questions, and once I've cleared that out, then I can go out of Facebook and try to track down Ellie, and even share this out where I wanted to, which was the Hamilton Freedom Rally Facebook page. Okay. The first question, why do you decide what's appropriate? What makes you the arbiter of what?
Okay. Go ahead, finish.
I was adding to her question. I was adding words. Leave it at what she said. Why?
So what makes me the arbiter or the decider in this thing. Okay, well,
And what's
I'm a
appropriate
70s
for children?
I'm a 70s kid. Ed
Mhm.
over there is a 60s kid, and I can tell you that the difference between the 70s and modern day is that we had class and manners. So we had objectives back in the day, and we all understood what our place in society was. Men knew that you don't hit women, you don't play sports with women, you don't walk in women's bathrooms. When that was true, our society was phenomenal. So I'm telling
Mm.
you that the biggest, we have some problems here. Some of the biggest problems include the left wing runs everything. Education, medicine, the courts, the police, government runs all of them. And as a result of all the left wing with their perverse ideas, they have now stated that perversion is the norm. And I'm telling you that it's not. And the vast majority, I speak now for the vast majority of people, also object equally as much, if not more, than I do, but they're not brave enough to say anything about it. So all I am the voice of reason speaking for absolutely everybody with a brain in their heads. And I'm going to fix the problem that we have here in our society so that we can get back on track. If I can solve this problem of men, women, washrooms, pedophiles, and so on in town, then I can move on to the next problem. And then the next problem. I can solve problems in a row. What makes me the decider? Well, the same thing as this Bobby person deciding that men can walk in women's change rooms.
Yeah, you would disagree on that point.
I would definitely disagree
You
on that.
believe what you believe. She believes what she believes.
And I'm prepared to act on my belief the same way that trans folks and the LGBTQ, Black Lives Matter, and Antifa have decided to act on their beliefs, which is violence and character destruction through the internet. That's what they've done. They have gone out of their way to ruin our society by making sure that everybody who does not comply with their perverse way of thinking is destroyed. Well, they're going to get a taste of their own medicine when I'm in there, and I'm going to go straight after the people who are ruining our society. When you mess kids up, when you start doing that kind of stuff to kids, it messes them up, and now the next 2 to 3 generations are messed up. The idea is to stop it dead now. Now, let me ask this question of you.
Okay.
And this is to Bobby, and this is to you, Kat.
Okay.
Is if you take a knife and you stab a child to death,
Okay.
What's the difference between that and utilizing your erect penis to penetrate a child and they bleed to death from hemorrhaging? What's the difference? Is there a difference? One's grosser than the other, but is there a difference? Is it still murder? You tell me.
Okay. No. All right. I'm going to counter it with a question. My answer is that if they're equally, you could make the argument they're equally they're equally as disgusting, equally as violent, and both murder. All right. My question to you is, why am I defending myself from a murder charge when I haven't committed a crime? And that's Bobby's answer too, I'm sure.
Okay.
Because Bobby's not.
Who said Bobby?
Well,
who said that Bobby committed murder?
Well, what I'm saying is, and I shouldn't be speaking for Bobby. I'll speak for me, right? Okay. You're asking me a question about which version of murder are they both murder? But my question to you is
societally. I didn't name Bobby. I'm talking about all of society. Go ahead.
Okay, but what's going to end up happening if you're saying about punishing just the pedophiles beyond any shadow of a doubt? But
not just the pedophiles, Keck. Child groomers, child traffickers, drag queens who perform in front of children.
Is a drag queen performance worthy of death? Like I don't agree with it.
Who said? Whoa! Who said death? I didn't say death.
Where's that coming from?
I said brass knuckles in the face, but I didn't say death.
Okay, I do keep jumping to death quite a bit because
I didn't say. No.
You laugh, but let's not kid ourselves. That is the end game here.
The end game is to put the fear of well, we'll call it the fear of God or the fear of a brass god into all these pedophiles who will never know who's watching them at any particular time. And when people don't know who's watching them, you only have to make an example of 5 or 6 before they all give up and disappear. They can all go to Branton, and maybe Branton will get smart enough to deal with this. The idea is, Keck, I want to start a revolution of intelligent thinking. If one city is going to go to that extreme to protect children, then a second one will join, then a third, then a fourth. And all of a sudden, we're going to find ourselves back in the position where men were men and women were women, and then we can focus on building an economy instead of focusing on men's rights to wear lipstick and dresses. That's what I'm getting at. I am not going to fight for anyone's rights to wear a dress, but I'll fight for your right to have a business that feeds your family.
It's all this. It's the thing with freedom is either we're all free. You can, once you start picking and choosing freedom, you're never going to succeed in freedom. But before I continue, where I'm about to send a message to Elle, but where am I sending her? Because I'm not finding you on Facebook.
No, you have to give her the same link that you have right now, the one that you used to come into this room.
Oh God, that's a nightmare. All right, I'm gonna go quiet for about 60 seconds then, because I can't multitask. Or why don't I just? What's more important, that I address your point, or come back and go get Elle?
Send Elle, because I'm going to ask you a really big question as soon as you get.
All right, let's get Elle on. You guys go. Just don't forget put a pin in where we were in the conversation. All right,
will do.
Give me a minute.
Go ahead, grab Ellie.
So, one thing about freedom has responsibilities too.
Oh yeah.
You can be free to do whatever you want, but you cannot do any harm to any other person.
Once your freedom,
brass knuckles does cause harm. I'm sorry, I realized I asked to be left alone, but did you just say that? The whole point is you're going to be advocating harm.
Right, because we're dealing with individuals who do not care about the freedom of children to be unmolested. We're talking about people who will do anything for their own gratification, no matter who it hurts and how badly it destroys their lives and the lives of their families. That is a very big problem. When you have somebody who's that self-centered, someone who is that aberrant in their behavior, and they do not care that society could possibly crumble if there's another 1,000 just like them doing the exact same thing, that person must be stopped. And the courts, first off, the police will probably join them these days. They'll throw them into the court system. The court's going to say, oh, what's that? You raped 6 children? No problem. We're going to give you bail. I'll come back next month, maybe. We'll think about that. That's what the courts are doing. And I know because Ed was actually in the courtroom 3 years ago in Ontario when a guy in a car who was drunk jumped a curb, ran over a woman and killed her. He got bail. I cracked 2 jokes, and I did not get bail. And I was lectured sternly by some loser justice of the peace. This guy was a loser, barking at me about the fact that we're in a multicultural society and I have to watch what I say. No, I don't have to watch what I say, not now and not ever. When I tell the truth or when I'm cracking jokes, that's my right to do. You have the right to not listen. But when we're dealing with children here, I exercise manners, class, and better judgment. I don't bring sexual jokes to children. I don't bring dirty jokes to children. When I'm dealing with children, everything that I do is to enable children to be children. And of course, I have to be somewhat childlike when I'm doing so. But coaching hockey does not mean that I've got the right to take my pants off and walk into the girls' change room. It's just that simple. That doesn't mean anything. It means I'm coaching hockey and trying to better kids. Our responsibility as free adults is to make sure that we actually behave as adults who are not self-centered, but who actually care about the next generations coming forward and do our very best to guide the generation down the right pathway. Where these pedophiles that we're talking about, all they care about is sticking their dicks in children. I hate to say it that way, but that's what they care about. They want to get off. They want to get off right now. They don't care who they hurt. A guy like that, well, if you want the truth, should be hanged. But we don't have that in Canada, unfortunately. So I figure the next best thing would be to make an example of them with brass knuckles and the brass knuckle brigade. That is what I'm talking about, because the cops will do a damn thing.
Okay, so Keck, this post here.
Oh, sorry. 1 second, Keck.
Yeah.
The brass knuckle brigade is not going to be thugs. It'll actually be a police department. Okay, it'll actually be a government-sanctioned department. There you go. Because everything is just a title, and if I give it city sanction, now it's legit. Now what are you going to do? That's not true.
Ask Bob or Bobby.
I'm going to pick up. Go ahead.
He's a child groomer?
No, Bobby is just a transgender who is worried that this brigade is going to end up going to just basically shouting at anyone wearing a dress and shouting witch. Mob justice is what Bobby is worried about.
Bobby needs to understand a couple things.
So,
okay,
hang on. We got to deal with this. Bobby is extending this forward. Why are they reading more into what's actually written there? Why are they letting their I don't know, their imagination get the hold of them? It's very specific.
Extreme. It's very specific.
Child groomers, child traffickers, pedophiles, drag queens who perform in front of children. And that's it.
And she's none of those. She's not a drag queen. She's just
good. But
then what's the word about?
I'm going to say he because this person still is not.
That's right.
I assume this person is pre-op, so it's he. Why does he need to be in a girl's bathroom? And I think morally, I have the high ground on that.
Because she doesn't believe that you have the she doesn't believe that you have the moral authority to dictate to her how she runs your life any more than I believe that she should be able to dictate that you need to keep your face with a mask.
I'm going to make it easier for you to understand, and I know you understand me, so I'm not being condescending when I say this, but I'm telling you this right now. If my daughter was still a minor, or if my daughter was in the bathroom in general, and some guy wearing a skirt walked in there, I'm walking in, I'm grabbing that guy by whatever he's got, I'm dragging him out, and I'm throwing him out of the restaurant or bar or wherever we happen to be. No man is going to be in any bathroom with my daughter, and that's an absolute truth. And because I know how to fight, this particular individual would be in a great deal of trouble, especially if they chose when I tell them to go. If they decide they want to fight, they're down on the ground for the count. I have a moral obligation and the legal rights to defend me and my family, and I will do so from any pervert or anybody who has mental illness who's going to walk into a girl's change room or a girl's washroom and tell me that they've got the right to do so. So what right does Bobby have to, as a biological male, go into a girl's bathroom? Where does it end?
Did you
6-year-old girls?
I'm going to write that down. Sorry, keep talking.
Okay, so what's the limits? What's the limits for Bobby? And here's the deal. How does Bobby know that he is a she? Did he just decide one day? Did some deity come down from the clouds and sprinkle fairy dust and said, now you're a girl? Is that what happened? Because I need to know more about this person. If this person wants to engage me in this, I have about 2,000 questions for them about this big switch.
She's not hiding behind me. It's just that
I didn't say hiding behind you. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah,
I got questions.
And to be perfectly honest, if you were willing to have a rational, reasonable, calm conversation, she might even be up for it. She won't talk to Ellie, but that's
whoa. See right there. You see right there. I've got a problem. I've got a problem with that though. You see, Ellie actually got the sex change surgery done, and this Bobby person did not. And this Bobby person won't.
Why? What does that matter?
Well, it does matter in the fact that Ellie, even though Ellie had the sex change surgery done, and is part of a community that I am not, Ellie and I are still friends. Ellie and I talk at length about a great number of things. I've had some amazing private conversations with Ellie. Ellie is a very intelligent person.
She knows her stuff.
Yes. And Ellie's on the ball with everything that she said. So why is this Bobby person not talking to her? Let's think about that.
She's also, and she's got in common, what she has more in common with you than I do is her ability to do like lives and stuff like this. She's very comfortable with the technical side of things, and she understands her audience. She has a lot to offer, but cutting her dick off really is not any benefit, makes her any more or less of a benefit than she was before she had the surgery.
Well, here's the deal, though. If you cut your penis off, it's not cutting it off. It's
I know.
Pushing it inside out. Yeah, it's really wild
gross.
What they do. But now what's happened here is that the male urge, there's no testicles, there's no testosterone, there's no penis. Now the urge to be a rapist is no longer there. And a lot of these losers putting on skirts.
If it were ever there in the first place. Not all trans are turned on by some trans are turned on by women, some trans are turned on by men, and a minority of the trans community, I'm sure, just as same as with straight people, there's going to be a percentage of trans people that are turned on by children.
I'm not taking the chances to who is who. I'm telling you that right now. Not considering the fact that I am a father of two. I'm never taking that chance. And no parent should be in a position where they have to gamble with the safety of their child because someone wearing a wig wants to go into the bathroom with their daughter. No, you see, I will be the guy that protects parents' rights to keep their children safe.
Okay, can I address that? You're raising so many points I can't keep up.
Go ahead, go ahead, Keck.
All right. You said, are you taking that chance? Should I take the chance that you don't kill me with COVID-19?
Yeah.
If I see you wearing a mask and I know that I'm in the right and I know that you're in the wrong, does that give me the entitlement to get a bunch of people with brass knuckles and knock you out?
The second that you can prove that there is a virus there, and I am deliberately spreading that virus, you should knock me out.
This whole thing started with you're not taking any chances. You acknowledge that you don't have any reason to think that Bobby is a pedophile. You don't want to take that chance. It's no different with the mask. I don't want to take that chance. You might not even have COVID.
Right. And as soon as, look, Keck, I get your point, but you have to look at things logically here. If it was ever proven, one, that there was a pandemic, which it has never been proven at all, then you would have a case. But there was no pandemic. There was no disease. There was no reason. Go ahead, Ed.
In 2020, when there's no jabs, no experimental injections, the death rate went down. Less people were dying.
Right. But, okay, Ed, let's not get into that part of it.
Yeah.
I see the point Keck is making here. What I'm saying to you here is there's clear evidence. Sorry, there was zero clear evidence that there was a pandemic, and people were screaming at each other over nothing. But in this particular case, it's clear that a man who has a penis is walking into the change rooms of women and girls. That's where it ends. In 1975, that particular individual would have been jumped by 50 guys because society would correct aberrant behavior. The idea here is we decided as a society a very long time ago what is aberrant, what is malignant, what is rude, and what is evil. We decided this a very long time ago.
We decided in 1015 that men could shit right beside a woman and nobody cared.
Well, we did decide that. Then we thought we found out
the culture shifted.
The culture shifted because we actually had evidence that there was disease in doing so. Eventually, eventually the Brits stopped yelling "Gotta Delu," throwing feces out the window, and put a sewer system in. Eventually, we got better and we got smarter. At this particular time, however, we seem to have peaked in 1988. Now we're getting stupider as a society. Men are men, women are women. Men do not menstruate. Men do not give birth. Women cannot beat men in physical sports. There you go. Why are we lying to ourselves? What benefit is any of this crap to our society? Please go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna I got a lot of questions there. So first of all, you said, what right does Bobby have? My answer to that is pretty clear. The Canadian law. She legally can go into a woman's washroom, can she not?
I'm going to read that law, and I'm going to look at the legitimacy of it. I want to see if the law, if it has been written at all, actually received royal assent, and then I want to see what the Senate had to say about it before it was passed. Because there's a great case that all of us can make, and you can't just sit there and say it's the law. We have to look into everything, including the legality of the law and any and all case law that goes along with it. Because in a lot of cases, there are judges who are prepared to assemble new laws right there in their courtroom when they understand a law to be completely ridiculous. So, Keck, I actually don't know if the law says they can do it. I do know that policies.
I'll grant you that. I will grant you that.
Yes, policies say that, but policies are not laws. Go ahead.
I will grant you that this has kind of more or less been decided that it's law, and we'll work on the details later. I completely understand. There's something shady going on there with the law. But would you not agree that it's not irrational? What is that music we're hearing?
I'm sitting in a cafe.
Oh, okay. If there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, nothing. Here. I'll show you. I'm sitting beside a dessert place and a restaurant and the main drag here in the street. And for whatever the reason, someone put Italian music on. So what do you do?
You learned to love Italian, I guess. It wasn't that bad.
I'll do my best to ignore it. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I will do the same. I got sidestepped on where we were. You said so many questions. You were throwing so many questions at me.
Well,
The law. My
I'm gonna
question to you. I remember where I just remembered where I was at. Okay, so you just outlined a shitload of reasons, most of which I agree with. That this women being put into bathrooms. I don't remember any democratic process happening any more than you do. It was just kind of decided. So I will grant you that. But just the same, from a rational standpoint, Bobby is not irrational to believe that it is her legal right.
Bobby is entirely irrational to believe that he is a woman. That's it.
I'll even grant you that.
Okay, but why is Bobby so eager to step outside of the norm, understanding that this particular stance that he is taking on his supposed identity is hurting him and ostracizing him from the rest of society? That's a choice that he made, not me. And I'll tell you this, is that someone like that, who also is not brave enough to discuss with Ellie, who's a real transgender woman.
I don't. Oh no, it was Ellie. Whoa! It was Ellie that wasn't brave enough to talk to Bobby.
I'm sorry, my mistake on that one.
Well, no, I'm the one that misled you. I that's what I said. I said.
No, okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Now she won't talk to Elle. Okay.
Okay. So what I'm getting at here, though, is why do I have to live with someone's delusions? If someone is delusional, we get them the help that they need. Remember I said on my podcast back in 2017, when this LGBTQ crap started? What I said was, listen, if you are suffering from gender dysphoria, you need to spend time around people who actually care about you. Get the help you need, get the support that you can from the people who love you. The idea is to get better, not to indulge or engage in the activities that are going to send you down a spiral that eventually everyone's going to hate. This transgender stuff that's going on right now is a trend. It eventually is going to reverse itself, and everybody, let's say 5 years from now, who still wants to try to keep this trend alive, is going to get the shit beat out of them, because people are going to be fed up with it. They already are. Geert Wilders is this close to being leader of the Netherlands. We've got right-wing governments popping up all over the world now. We've all had enough. So if you want to continue being aberrant and working outside of the norm, you have the right to do so. You don't have the right to endanger kids, and you certainly aren't entitled to anybody's support for any of your ideas. That's on you, not on me. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hang on. I want to bring up a point. Kevin, you said this is just a fad. Now, this crap with these transgenders and all this gay stuff and all the unlimited bounds, this had been done before. It was done in the early 1900s. Germany, specifically Berlin.
Yes.
And the book burnings that the ZOG, Zionist occupied government, is complaining about.
Don't forget how sexy their uniforms were. That was clearly a gay guy that designed those.
This was I lost what I was going to say.
Sorry.
The Zion, the people with the little hats, some of these demented people, there's a few of those freaks out there. They came into prominence into some decent positions. They twisted the medical industry. They twisted the colleges, the universities. This is why the Frankfurt School got kicked out of Germany in the 1933, I believe. Then they came to the States. This is all communists. This is all Antifa. This was all and actually Antifa was founded back in those days.
Yeah, it was anti-fasciste, but I think, Keck, I understand your concern. I do.
Kevin, let me finish my point.
Okay, go ahead.
The burnings they were doing, they said, they're burning what books? They're burning books about pedophilia and all this deranged crap. That's what they were burning in Germany's. Now, how is history rewritten? What do you know about the book burnings in Germany? What were you taught?
No, well, we were taught that they were burning books. That's all that we were taught.
Yep, they didn't say anything about lewd, sexual, deviant crap. They never mentioned that, did they?
No.
That's what they were burning back then. Details matter.
Well, they do, and Adolf Hitler had an absolute disdain for how bad Germany had become. We've covered this before. Before World War I, Germany went down this radical leftist LGBTQ rabbit hole where you could go to any of the major cities and have sex with a horse and a child in the same day. And you could go to clubs, like children's sex clubs, animal sex clubs, orgy bars. You could go to any of these places because pleasure had become the number one thing in society. And these people didn't care who they hurt. And that's a very big problem. It's the same idea with our modern day. We're doing the exact same thing that pre-World War I Germany is doing, where everybody who's got a sick fetish is allowed to display it as flamboyantly as they want to, and then it's being taught to our children. 13-year-old girls are being normalized to the idea of 50-year-old men being in the shower with them because the guy's wearing a dress. I'm going to tell you the truth here. These guys need a correction.
Joe Biden's
Therapists won't take it on. The cops won't arrest them. If they do get arrested, the courts won't punish them. So how do we do it? We form a legal police force in the city of Mississauga, put brass knuckles on them, and send them out hunting. You know what, Keck? They probably only have to be around for 2 or 3 months. I think I would make my point, and everyone would still think that they were around. I wouldn't even say anything about them being disbanded. You know, imagine that. It'd be like, it's like the Batman movies. You know, whenever they see, the criminals see the Batman logo on the clouds, what happens? They stop doing all their crimes because it's fear. All right, they would just be afraid. The idea is to put fear into the right people, not the wrong people. As it stands right now, the government and Antifa and Black Lives Matter have put a ton of fear into the average person, who are the ones that actually go to work and actually pay all the taxes. Why are those good people the ones who are afraid of losers who don't work and men who put on dresses? No, I'm not afraid of any of them. Look at all the things they've said about me nationally and internationally. It hasn't worked. I'm still here talking, and I'm telling you that you are in the wrong. Your morality is sick, and it has to be stopped. Otherwise, we're not going to have a country left at all. And you want to talk? No, I'm talking. No, society's morality, the left wing's morality is sick.
Yeah. Okay.
It has to be stopped. You know, Keck, when I say you, I'm talking about the left wing in general.
I stepped in too quickly into
that morality has to be altered, or it has to be shown just how wrong it really is. They've tried for 7 years. Antifa's tried for 7 years to use violence to get good conservative people to stop being good conservative people. It hasn't worked, but good conservative people, they've had their spirit broken. They're being quiet now. I could inspire an entire city to stand up for their rights and say, no more left-wing garbage. We're finished. We want to go back to work. We want to make some money. We want to enjoy time with our families. We don't want to be worried about who is going to be in the bathrooms with our daughters. That is something that I can set society down. That's the right pathway for our society to go. And most of what I'm saying here, you got to understand, it's a stepping stone. You get rid of the pedophiles in town because they're terrified to be in town. That town is now more relaxed and can now start to focus on going back to work. Go ahead.
Okay, I've got three points you raised here. The first, I'm going back a bit because you went for a bit there. And it's about Bobby having delusion. I'm gonna speak because I'm assuming I obviously have discussed this with Bobby before I went live, so I'm assuming when you're watching this, I want you to understand. I do recognize that Kevin is right, that you're a biological man. You were born with a penis. I don't think we've had any kind of confrontation on that. There are people in the Facebook group that refer to you to Bob, and I respect that. I respect your pronouns because, as Kevin said earlier, when you earn respect, which I have done, I see the way I know Bobby through this Facebook group is she's clearly trying to change my mind. She's not trying to own me. She's not trying to win me over or show how stupid I am. She's not abrasive. So that's why I gave her a chance in the group. And she has demonstrated to me that she is somebody worthy of respect. So I say, Bobby, you've never met this person. I think you may or may not respect her pronouns if you actually got to know Bob. I hope that made sense.
Okay, well, it makes sense. Yes,
I do
but I
want to
mean,
address that I'm not delusional. That I understand that it's a mental disorder. It's a delusion, right?
yes.
You'd be amazed how many people I know that think that Jesus Christ could fly. So we all have our own delusions. It's and the people that think that Jesus can fly, they still have rights in spite of their delusions, right?
Yes.
And they're
The,
worthy of respect for, um, just because of what they believe some goofy things doesn't mean I can't respect them as people.
that is not what I'm talking. This is not a matter of not respecting people who walk a different pathway than me.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I've met hundreds of thousands of people in my time. I've run 3 political campaigns. I've been, we'll call it a mini celebrity for a while, then not for a while, and then for a while again, and so on. And with all of that comes meeting everybody from every single walk of life. And for
Mm-hmm.
me to walk through life disrespecting anybody is never going to be to my advantage. So I'm not one of those guys who shuns people. I'm polite to everybody, including cops that I really have no use for. I'm polite because I'm a polite guy, and you get a lot more done when you can talk to somebody on a respectful adult level. But then we have Antifa out there who shout and scream and cry and complain. And then you've got some of these trans, well, they call themselves trans people. We call them people who wear wigs, who
Mm-hmm.
get loud and abrasive and then violent when you tell them you're not a biological woman, you're a man.
Mm-hmm.
So we're putting up with all of that violence coming from the left wing,
Yes,
and it's frightened a lot of people off, and
yes,
it hasn't solved anything because
not
nobody
the
on the
internet.
right has, like nobody on the right though has challenged them properly to end it. Then I come along as mayor of Mississauga, and this entire brass knuckle brigade is contingent on me winning the mayorship of Mississauga. It's not like I can afford to have a brass knuckle brigade now. I must win the mayorship before I've got the authority to create an authoritative body. Okay?
So you want to
I'm
use
making sure.
you want to
You got
use
to make
tax
sure that
money?
Bobby understands that. Okay?
Help me to understand. What you're advocating for is that we use taxpayer money to beat people up.
To protect our children. If you want to say beat people up and use that as a synonym, go right ahead. I'm
It's
telling
not
you to
a
protect
synonym.
children.
It's literally what's being suggested in that post, and what we're ultimately
Okay,
suggesting here.
but remember this: that words and legal terms are open to interpretation. You just said beating people up. The second
Yeah.
that you are hurting children, you're not a person. You're not a human being in my eyes at all. Period. So
Okay.
we are assaulting and stopping dead in their tracks rabid animals who are criminals who are destroying real people, little people. They're destroying them. The
Mm-hmm.
second that you go down the pathway of being a child rapist or molester or groomer, you're not a person, you're not people, you're not a human being. You are a rabid, savage animal, and you must be put in a cage. And
Can I address that?
nobody's doing. Yes, go ahead, please.
What goes down the pathway when you abandon the rule of law? Where does that lead?
Look where we are now. There is no rule of law in
Okay,
Canada
but
whatsoever. Look
I
where we are.
largely agree with you,
Look
right?
where we are. Okay, and I'm going to reflect. So I got to comment on what you just said there.
Okay.
We already have that society right now. So what happens without the rule of law is that Canadians realize, if I protest, Justin Trudeau is going to take my truck, take my house, shut down my bank account. So there is a huge business opportunity in every Latin American country to get Canadians' money out of Canada. People are taking their money out of the country. So when there's no rule of law, the economy suffers. Also, the left wing running the courts like they do and the police like they do, the police are no longer protecting the public. What they're doing is just arresting people for having opinions that these little left wing shitheads who work on these police forces don't like. And unfortunately, they've got the body armor and the gun and the radio where they can say, this guy's not afraid of me. Send more cops and like show up and have your sirens on so we can intimidate them. That's how they are. And that's who's in charge of supposedly our safety. I don't want them protecting my safety. I would rather just carry a gun myself and forget the cops. We don't need them anymore. But what if, Kat, and I want to just reflect on this one right now. What if Kevin J Johnston wins the mayorship of this hometown of Mississauga and pulls out of Peel region The city starts to boom. We have an all-male police force. We don't need these left-wing, crazy, psychopathic women that are on that force. And believe me, the women on that force are friggin' nuts. We get that solved. We put everybody back to work. I get the bylaw officers in town who don't have authority anyway to back off of bothering people so they can get their lives back in order. And on top of that, every single pedophile in town is too afraid to hurt someone's child. What would happen? The city would flourish. It would flourish. And then when a city is flourishing, the rule of law can return, which it needs to. But right now, the left wing is using the courts and the police just to shut down the rest of the country. What if we did the exact same thing for the left, who don't have the mental capacity? They don't have the fortitude to stick it out with a guy like me. I've stuck this crap out for 7 years. What if I had an authoritative position? I can end their reign and have the rule of law come back, because right now we are in a state of war. Canada is at war with itself. And during war, guess what happens to the rule of law? It goes away. It's already gone, but the left wing's in charge. Why can we not be in charge? Why can right wingers not be in charge? Ed, that's what I say.
Keck, can you put Elle's phone number in the private chat, please?
I will do that. I'm going to send you her messenger. Is that good enough, or do you need her actual phone number?
Give me her phone number. It's quicker, and I'll get her on a lot quicker.
Yeah, she answers the phone. She answers the phone. Yeah.
I would. Shit.
And you guys can keep talking that way.
Yeah, give me a second. Give me a second to check my phone list. I don't think she's updated here.
Okay, you two talk. I've got the number, Ed. Let me find it. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, you do that. And Ed, you know that I want to take about 5 minutes. Can I just shift gears to the yellow vest for a second?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I'm not going to make too big a deal out of it, but I'm real excited. Anybody that lives in the Hamilton area who wants to fight for freedom tomorrow, the Hamilton Yellow Vests, unlike every other city on the planet, as Kevin pointed out earlier, can you turn down your volume while you do that, Kevin? Beautiful, thank you.
Yeah.
As Kevin pointed earlier, people got really scared. People get fear is a motivator, and the Yellow Vest movement died. And fear is the only reason. Justin Trudeau had the money to shut us down. To use that money to shut us down. Anybody who used to be a Yellow Vest didn't stop being a Yellow Vest because they suddenly decided that we won this. They didn't stop being a Yellow Vest because of any other reason that they just ran out of energy. But we've had time to reflect on everything that we went through, and I'm talking specifically of the Hamilton Yellow Vests. And in Hamilton, we decided that we're not going to let fear rule us. We're not just going to roll over and give up because Justin Trudeau had a bunch of money to shut us down. So if you're in the Hamilton area tomorrow, we're not looking at huge numbers, but we do have some speakers. At 12 o'clock, Hamilton City Hall, please come and join us. If you don't know what the Yellow Vest is, they've been fighting for freedom since before the Freedom Rally. Everybody is welcome, every race, every religion, every sexual orientation. We have trans members, oddly enough. Ellie is a member of the Hamilton Yellow Vest. If you're gay, come and join us. Muslims, if you're one of those fucking Muslims that's so big on the Canadian government and all that, like, yeah, fuck off, stay home. But if you're a Muslim that puts the submission to God as your priority over submission to government, you need to come down and join us. We're at Hamilton City Hall at 12 o'clock, and you might find it refreshing to be around like-minded people. Are you back, Kevin? Otherwise, I'll keep going.
Yes, okay, no, I'm back. Okay, good. Ed, in your WhatsApp is the phone number. Go ahead and make that phone call. So let's cover, because it seems that we're talking about this person, Bobby, that I just don't know. So I'm just going to address transgenderism in general.
Fair enough.
There's a lot of beta cuckery out there, a lot of beta males out there, gamma males and epsilon males and so on. Guys who get angry with a big mouth like me because I'm hyper masculine, hyper confident. I have a good time everywhere I go, and I can talk to women no problem. And as a result, I do okay with the ladies, and I treat the ladies with the utmost respect and so on. These beta cucks are saying, well, why does Kevin get to have one? Well, because Kevin will say nice things. Kevin will open the door for them. Kevin will stand up when they come to the table. Kevin will send them some cute texts. Kevin will make a phone call and say some really nice, polite, cool things. Kevin will be entertaining. Kevin will open the car door for them. Kevin will buy roses. You know,
You missed the main one.
yeah, Kevin will be a gentleman.
Nope.
And that's something that you, well, okay, what did I miss?
What the difference between you and the beta cucks is that Kevin will stand up to them. Beta cucks, women don't want a guy that's they're just going to walk all over, right? They don't want a girlfriend. They want a boyfriend. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
No, hey, no, it's a valid point. And women don't get away with anything with me. They did when I was like 18, 19, 20s, and I figured them out. Okay, so these beta males out there, they're at home playing video games all the time. They're going to comic book conventions and dressing up as Yoda and Sailor Moon and stupid crap like that, and contributing nothing to themselves or society in general. These beta guys are so upset with the fact that they can't find a girlfriend that either A, they're committing suicide, which is very unfortunate, or B, they are dressing up as women and saying that they're trans and they're going out and they're dating men just so they can get some from somebody, just so they can have some kind of a human connection, because we're not teaching boys to man up and be men. You know, simple, stupid things like when I was in school, our principal banned Red Rover and tag and wrestling. Well, we did it anyway, and our parents backed us up, and that principal had to back down. Well, now everything's banned. You can't do a damn thing, and that's a big problem. So our boys don't have any idea of how what it's like to be strong, what it's like to get hurt with wrestling or anything. They don't have tribes anymore. Men do not have tribes anymore. Like, there's no common group that we can be a part of anymore. So they have no identity, and they have no way to talk to women. So they are getting to this trans crap, and they're joining up these gay groups, this stupid crap, so that they can have a bond of some type. Hold on 1 second there.
Okay.
Amigo, can we turn that down a little bit? Yeah, thank you. Sorry, guys, I'm getting that.
No worries.
Yeah. So the LGBTQ stuff and this trans stuff is there because people are lonely and looking for attention. They're looking for something to belong to. And the left wing lies, and they say with open arms, come and join our group. Come, we love you. And then you find out, like, you know, a couple of months into it, that they don't have your back, that they're all just a bunch of maniacs who are trying to convince you to do things that you don't want to do, to push their narrative that in many cases they don't even believe in. They just say that they do because they're part of a group. So young men are joining these LGBTQ groups so that they are part of a tribe. Everybody needs to be part of something.
Yeah, and
so
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, no, it's just I know you don't want me to go back to Bobby, but you just segued into the next thing that I wrote down when when we were still talking about Bobby, and that is what caused Bobby to, or what caused her to transition, which is what you're saying right now, is what's getting all these people to trans. Yeah. And what I mentioned this before to you, that what I believe in Bobby's case is that the lockdown, the actual, what she told me was, and what I thought it through, that basically the lockdown is what kind of started her transition, because of it. Because I do believe what you're saying. I do believe that she was trying to belong to a tribe. As I understand it, she already had a significant other, so it's not that she was lonely. It's just that's kind of what's going on when we lock down, and I'm willing to bet that was 80% of the media. Like they said, stay home and watch TV all day. Remember that?
Of course they did, and the media does have power.
Yeah,
and people with lower intelligence quotients will buy into it. I mean, IQ under 85 will buy into anything.
It's not necessarily like we are all susceptible to propaganda, right? Intelligence definitely.
I'm not. There's nothing that's been said to me in the last 20 years that I have believed. But please continue.
If you honestly believe that that propaganda has zero effect on you, then propaganda is having an effect on you, right? They don't spend that kind of money. Like there are so many things that you believe to be true. Let me try. I'm going to try this. Do you believe that the Earth is flat or round?
No, round. The
Okay,
Egyptians knew it was round.
Okay, and I've always believed it was round, but for the first time in my life, I'm questioning because everything else that's been told to me is a lie. So, I mean, literally, the only reason why I believe the Earth is a globe is because trust the science, and literally no other reason.
Yeah, but how many times have I been in airplanes that are 40,000 feet above the ground and I don't see the edge? I took binoculars with me the last couple times just to see. Like, you know what? I'm going to have a look and see. And there is no edge or ice wall or otherwise. And look, it's a simple thing here. If the Earth was flat, go to the top of any the CN Tower or the Sears Tower. I guess it's called Willis Tower now in Chicago. Go to the top of any of those. You should be able to see 4 time zones away with the proper telescope, and you can't because the Earth is round. It's that simple. But
Okay.
I believe it because of my own capacity for deductive reasoning, and also I've run these experiments on my own. And we have Ellie in the house.
No way! Oh, am I too loud, by the way? Because I play these videos back.
Fine.
Okay, because I know
so,
Ellie's quiet.
Gracias.
So.
Yeah, of course. Okay, gentlemen, this place closes in 6 minutes, so I got to go in 6 minutes. Let's get to it.
She just referred to us as gentlemen.
I know.
And she
Okay.
doesn't know me very well.
Did you get? Thanks for coming. I'm sorry we had trouble getting a hold of you. Did you listen to any of this?
Well, yeah, I was listening to it as I was trying. Like, I was backstage a few times, but I wasn't showing up with that link you gave me. And
all right.
I said, "Well, tell Kevin to send it to my messenger." And Ed's like, "Well, I'll send it to your email." Okay, whatever. So I give it.
Send it somewhere. Yeah, we're just look. Sorry, Ellie, I'm going to cut you off only because I'm in a hurry here. I want to get to some points. All right, look. This whole thing of transgenderism. You got mad at me for something that I had said a couple of years ago. We ironed it out like adults live for the whole world to see. Yeah. Now we both understand each other's position. And this Bobby person is somebody who wants to make a point, is angry with the fact that I'm saying I want to have a private police force specifically to protect children, utilizing tactics that have not been used before in Canadian policing to get us back on track as a society. That's what I'm saying. I don't know Bobby. It had nothing to do with Bobby. And the one legitimate question that Bobby asked was, what makes me the authority on that? Well, I would be the guy in office. That's where the authority is. And I want to see a semblance of normalcy return, because when we go back to being a normal society, we're all going to be a little bit richer and a little bit happier. Ellie, go ahead.
I agree. And, like I said, if we don't act, they'll take over and they'll do unspeakable things with our children. So we can't have that.
Can I ask you a question, Ellie?
What's that?
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
All right, and give me an honest answer here. Yeah, let's say. Well, we all know that Kevin will get elected and become the next mayor of Mississauga. So let's guarantee that step 1 is done. So Kevin gets elected, and he sets up this thug force. I don't know what you want, the Brass Knuckle Brigade.
Brass Knuckle Brigade.
All right.
I didn't hear what his plan was.
Let me quickly break it down for you. Basically, if you're a diddler, you're going to get smacked, right?
By a police force that's going to be paid, sanctioned by the city, paid by the city, who will use. Sorry,
it's unconstitutional, and you, of all people, want the Constitution respected. You need to be the class.
I think the point is he's given up on the Constitution.
I have given up on the Constitution because it's been ignored by everybody.
You cannot target certain citizens. I mean, even if they're scum of the earth, I agree. They should all be fucking locked away in jail forever. But you can't just walking around smacking them. It's like,
why is it okay to be tasing people?
The city, and then the city will end up paying out these motherfuckers.
Why is it okay for cops to be tasing people or shooting them?
Well,
it's not okay. No one's advocating for that.
But it happens.
Well, some of the police are.
And when you give the kind of authoritative power to Kevin J Johnston, there are also things that happen, right? It's only a matter of time. And this was the question I'm trying to ask you, Kelly, is let's say Kevin gets his his ducks in a row, and he becomes president or mayor of president of Mississauga. Well, we just confused a bunch of Americans.
Yeah.
He becomes the mayor of Mississauga, and he has a force now where their job is basically just to let people know that they're not allowed, that drag queens will not be tolerated, basically.
In front of children. In front of children.
In front of children. In front of children. Well, I stand corrected. You don't have a problem in bars and stuff. But my question to you, Al,
go ahead.
My question for you, Al, is how long do you think it would be before these people start to look at you as a trans person? And even though you're not on the list, which is drag queens, groomers, what were the other two, Kevin?
Drag queens in front of children, groomers, pedophiles, and the last one. Groomers, pedophiles.
Drag queens.
Drag queens. There's one more. Drag queens in front of kids.
Pervert.
I don't care if they're in adult clubs and pedos. Look,
nowhere on your list was people that go to the washroom, that use the women's washroom, right? That wasn't on your list,
right? But
you want to add it? Wait,
not yet. I don't want to add it yet. I want to get into office. But I do want to make a point that this aberrant behavior has ruined our entire society. America, Canada, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. These stupid ideas that we are allowing have wrecked us. Someone has to take a stand. Like I told you, if I do this, some other town will do this, followed by a big city will do this, then it'll go international, and all of a sudden we will go back to right-wingism, which is go to work, do your job, pay your taxes, be really good to your family, go to church, whatever. That's what we need. We need a whole society of people who take care of themselves. And right now, we don't have a society where we can have men at work, women at home taking care of the kids, at least until the kids are old enough, and a family unit that's strong. What we have are weak males not having kids, and women who think they're men who aren't having kids, who are at odds with men. And we have this crazy notion that we should be teaching kids in our schools to battle your parents every chance that you get. We're the school, we're your authority, and do what we say. So the family unit's fucked, and there's no other way to word that. And I have to stop that in my hometown so that other cities follow suit. That's what I'm saying. Somebody has to be the bad guy.
I agree with you, but don't you think as the mayor, you would be better off to get the school board to tell all these schools to stop, A, bringing drag queens in, 2, to stop doing all these sexual programs, to stop these the critical race theory and all this other crap there.
I do, Ellie. And imagine this: if I was to go to the Peel District School Board with my brass knuckle police force and put a new contract down in front of them saying, could you consider signing this, please? We're going to get rid of all of this left-wing crap in school and go back to education. I'm pretty sure they're going to object. Then I'm going to have to say, gentlemen, and let the police force do what they want. Could you imagine how quickly we would get the perverts out of the school if every member of that council was missing all their teeth? Yeah. It's a thought. It's a thought experiment that we're doing here. And again, your thought dependent on me winning.
Which we know will happen. Your thought experiment demands, like, you started this whole thing with, but I'm going to change that down the road, right? You've already decided that attacking people on that list, that a list of 4 examples, is, you've already decided that list is going to expand. So how long till that list expands to a woman like Bobby or Al, if they feel comfortable in a woman's washroom?
Well, as I told you before, Keck, when you go to a method like this, you only have to make an example of a very small number, 3, 4, 5 people maybe, and all of a sudden everybody will think, oh my God, it's going to happen to me, because people are stupid. They will just go straight to fear. And then we will find ourselves in a position where conservatives like us don't fear because we're not going to do anything wrong. But the extremist far left maniacs, they will be afraid all of the time. And that force could probably, like I said, just be secretly disbanded. Nobody would even know they don't exist anymore. And the fear would still be there. The thought process would still be there. It takes a long time for news to get to people. Did you know, I was talking to a friend of mine who works for Calgary Police, and she actually was in a police conference, and half the cops she spoke to, which is about 40 of them, they all thought that I was in jail in Ontario. They had no idea that I was still free in Calgary. That's how long it takes for news to get to people. And these guys are actually in law enforcement, and they don't know what's going on. So think about how the public is constantly behind because they hear something, but they never follow up on it. You know, I've still got idiots on my TikTok lives that I do saying, "Hey, did you pay that money that you owe?" And like, "Hey, you're outdated, guys. You know, the court said I owed some money, but I say I don't. I appealed it. The appeal comes out next year. Your information's out of date." People will always go with what they remember from a couple of years ago. They're not going to follow up and find anything out. And Ellie would probably be on my team when I am mayor of Mississauga, because I would require someone like Ellie, who's got brains first off, but also understands the subculture of our society to the point where she could be of great assistance to me. It's not going to be a diversity hire. I already know how intelligent Ellie is, and that's the kind of people that I need working with me. I need smarts, not stupidity. Go ahead.
Okay. Forget what you need. I need the money. Screw Ellie. I'll do the job. I'll
run for mayor, get the job at 6 figures. There you go.
He's gonna need someone to clean the toilets and mop the hallway. So I mean, yeah, we always got a job for you.
Hey.
You can work your way up to, you know, closet janitor or janitor on a drum or whatever.
Okay, here's an interesting question with your idea here. What kind of education are you going to expect this brass knuckle? I keep forgetting it. Brass knuckle
brigade, BKB. Brass
what
knuckle
kind of,
brigade.
okay, why can't I be? I'm aggressive. I can't fight, but I'm aggressive. So, I want to be part of your brass knuckle brigade. What kind of education do I need, and what kind of training?
I will actually be working with a consultation firm to write a proper aptitude test to find out what someone's true intelligence is. I wouldn't work with anybody on a force like that with an IQ of less than 110 because they just wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't have any judgment. I've had the opportunity to deal with a lot of police officers and politicians who have IQs under 90. It's frustrating because they just don't get it. I need to work with guys who do get it.
You have to have intelligence, more than intelligence than a fucking apple. You understand?
Okay, for one, if I had anybody with an IQ over 110 is not looking for employment where they get to put on brass knuckles.
They will if the salary is $125,000 a year.
I'm 149. I'll do it.
Man, you're spending a lot of my tax dollars. Well, I don't live in Mississauga.
Well, actually, the thing is, though, if I was going to spend the tax dollars on a police force of just 5 guys at that particular price, think about the amount of money that we're going to be saving in the courts and with policing and with all the other nonsense that goes with it. The idea here is to save a ton of money by keeping these rejects out of the courts because they're going to be too afraid to commit crimes in Mississauga. There we are. Think about also the return that comes to the city 20 years down the road when children have been allowed to exist unmolested within the town, and the next generation of kids is not completely screwed up because these people screwed them up 20 years previously. So I'm actually looking 20, 30 years down the road from my hometown. Sure, 30 years from now, I'll be in my 80s. It's not going to matter. But think about the precedent that I could set, and think about the course that I could set humanity on, starting one city at a time. I have a much bigger vision for something like this. That's just how it is. Okay, so I'm not doing this for kicks. I'm doing this for the betterment of mankind. All right, and I think I got to go in a second here. The restaurant's putting everything away. All
okay,
right, so
can I get one last question off before you wrap it up?
Yeah, okay. All right, he's
okay, I guess I don't.
Putting the things away. I'm going to get going in a couple minutes. So, yeah,
no worries. I'll ask you in the private chat.
Sorry,
Okay.
Ed. What's your last question? I gotta go.
We brought Ellen for you, Keck. What was the big issue with Bob or Bobby? Why won't she talk to Elle?
Well, no, that was our.
Oh, that's a whole other. Yeah, that's a whole. Other.
No, not important. What's important here? No, what's important here are the politics of the land, and what I think Keck, you should be focusing on is the fact that in order for me to actually run the kind of campaign I want to run, I had to leave Canada and come to Costa Rica to be able to run a political campaign without the cops pointing guns at me, harassing me, following my family, following my friends, locking me up again. I have to be here. That, I think, is the most important aspect of this entire thing. Never mind Brass Knuckle Brigade and what Bobby has to say. What I'm here to say is that it's fucking pathetic that I had to leave my home country to go to another country. I had to fly, 7 hours to get here just to be able to run a campaign. That's a very big problem. And I think that's more important to discuss in our next show together, which I really hope we do soon, rather than talking about the concerns of one particular individual. I don't know who Bobby is, so nothing I'm saying pertains to this person at all.
I know I've been, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's all I got to say.
Oh yeah, no, I know that you didn't set this up so we could talk about Bobby. It's just that she came up with the best questions. There is another one I'll ask you later because I don't want to
ask it now because I'll keep going until they kick me out. Go.
I'd have to look it up again. It'll only take me a second. It's just it was wordy is all. The first two that she gave me. I promised her I would ask, and I don't want her to come back at me and say, you let Kevin talk all over you and didn't even fight back. Oh yeah, I can't find it, but there's another guy in our Freedom Rally group that basically asked the same question 5 different ways. Why while I look for this one, Jeff's question is, why are you literally Hitler?
Why am I literally Hitler?
Why should... What he's saying is you're a con artist, you're a scamist, you're a racist, you're a misogynist, you're a bigot. Why should I listen to you?
Well, that's a lot of insults for somebody who actually made that brazen statement without any evidence to back up his point whatsoever. Just because he says so doesn't mean I am so. Just because CBC said so doesn't mean I am so. If you guys are going to get your information from the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, then you're always going to be ill-informed. So I'll ask this question of this particular guy. Why can't you ask me a real question as opposed to asking a stupid question that is a leading question that you know is not going to get an answer because everything that you've said is false in your statement, which is it's not a question, it's a statement. So why should he listen to me? I'll just make it easy for him because I'm smarter than you. That's why.
Well, in not so many words, actually, oddly enough, even up to "I'm smarter than you" was how I responded to him. No, I figured I'd throw that in there while I was looking for the actual question because I got a whole lot of Kevin's a Nazi. Like that's not the topic.
I get that crap all the time, but like Black Lives Matter, they're Nazis. Antifa, they're Nazis. The Communist League, they're Nazis. The current Liberal Party of Canada, they're Nazis. The RCMP are Nazis. Let's just factor in who the real Nazis are. I'm the guy who objects to Nazism. I can't stand them.
You're the one who wants this set up. Anyways, the last question, because we're running out of time, I have it in front of me now.
I want you guys to define what it is to be a Nazi, first of all.
Okay, hold on. Let him ask his question. I said I would answer.
The last question, yeah, and I promised her that I would ask you this.
Let's hear
it. Cheerleaders wear skimpy uniforms and perform in front of children. Will they be targeted next?
It's a really silly question. Cheerleaders have been part of our culture since the 1920s. All right. Actually, sorry, that is actually incorrect. Male cheerleaders were a thing back in the late 1800s where they would rah the crowd up. But then more and more women got into it, I guess, because of the women's suffrage movement. So women started getting into cheerleading thing. And it turns out that everybody wanted to watch good-looking girls dance and cheer and not guys. Like I'm one of those guys who wants to see good-looking cheerleaders in their skimpy uniforms where, let's be honest here, their breasts are completely covered. Their asses are completely covered by those tight panties along with the skirts and so on. They jazz themselves up. In the 70s and 80s, they were fit. Now they're all fat, which is really unfortunate. But what they are dressed as has been legal for a very long time. Like we're talking 120 plus years. Why would I ever object to cheerleaders who are part of our culture? I'm not going to destroy our culture. The LGBTQs are destroying our culture. They're the ones who are saying that family is bad and kids should not listen to their parents. A parent's viewpoint is not important. My LGBT radical leftist insane viewpoint is the one that kids should be listening to. That's destroyed our culture. The hell with those people, period. So, Bobby, I'm disappointed. It's a stupid question. No,
Yeah.
I'm not going to interfere with cheerleaders in any particular way. In fact, I would encourage more of them to get out there and get athletic, get thinner, not fatter. Next.
Okay, I want to drive one point home here. All this stuff that the Bobby is talking about, this is indoctrination. She is a product of indoctrination.
Yeah.
This crap
In part,
for 200
possibly.
years. Okay. There's a certain group of people that are pushing this on society. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you talking about the LGBTQ mafia?
Oh, the entire left, all of them, the LGBT, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, all of them, the whole left, our entire government structure, including the fucking CPC and the fucking stupid NDP, all of them, they're all leftist douchebags.
Today, the left today. The leftists 40 years ago were against war.
Yeah.
And we're for free speech.
They were called hippies.
Yeah, and now they're pushing war. Like,
well, but these are not the hippies.
Nobody really knows what. No, look, guys, come on, look. I'm just going to make an honest statement here. Nobody really knows what the hell they want anymore. Nobody knows where they stand anymore. You've got everyone out there saying free Palestine, but they have no idea what that means. You've got people out there saying destroy Israel and kill the Zionists, but they have no idea what that means. They're just reciting what they've been told to recite. People care about this Palestine crap because the news told them to. Just like a few months ago, people cared about Ukraine because the news told them to. Even the YMCA took sides in that one. They had free Ukraine stuff all over the YMCA, a government-run institution. Now, how do you think that makes Russians feel? Everybody is going to take a side when they're told to do so. Everybody's mental. Everybody's lost. Nobody has any particular goals in life. They have no particular pathway that they're going to be able to follow because they're listening to this indoctrination garbage. So the opinions of the common man at this particular point mean nothing because their opinions have been handed to them by the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation or by CNN or by the BBC. And go ahead.
How many times have I heard, we got to support the Ukraine. We have to support democracy. Democracy, you say. Zelensky had all opposing political parties banned and jailed. They have not had a free election since 2014. What kind of democracy is this? Tell me this is democracy.
Zelensky is one of those, he's a weird trisexual pedophilic maniac who was a stand-up comedian who used to put on women's clothes and dance on stage. And I showed a video in my last show of one of the videos that got out. This guy is a lunatic. He is a radical leftist lunatic. And regrettably, he is in charge of an entire country. And like they did to me, they put me in prison because I had all the best ideas running for mayor. He put all of his political opponents in prison. The Democrats are trying to do that to Donald Trump right now. The political system is ruined because in the Western world, we no longer have the rule of law. So I'm getting back to my point that everything I said is contingent on me winning the mayorship of Mississauga, and everything that I am talking about would be me doing exactly what the left wing is doing now. I would just be doing it in favor of society, not in the destruction of society. That is all. Yes, Ellie, I agree with you. It's unconstitutional, but so is everything the court system is doing today. So is everything the police right across the country are doing today. So is everything that our political system is doing today. Our education system is unconstitutional. Everything is unconstitutional. Nobody cares because they're not being held to account. Then Kevin J Johnston shows up and holds people to account.
Corrupt people that are doing that, and by doing it yourself, you are also becoming corrupt, trying to fight corruption.
Yes, but I am the first.
Yes,
I understand.
yes.
I understand. Yes, and I agree, Ellie. And I actually am the guy who said I am going to abuse my authority in the position of mayor of Mississauga, specifically to put society back on track. That is what I said. I admit to it before I'm even in office. You can put that in your pipe and smoke it, left wing, because here's the deal. I'm telling the truth, and you don't like it. You can't figure out how to counter it because I've already been upfront about my plans.
There are ways.
Think about that.
Well, you can have public floggings and get CBC to actually cover them and actually do some honest reporting. Ouch, ouch, ouchie.
Yeah, we certainly could. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to point out here that I had no specific person in mind when I put my guarantees out. So on my website, kevinjjohnston.me, kevinjjohnston.me, you'll see mayor run on the top of the website. If you read that, you'll see exactly what my campaign guarantees are. They're not promises, they're guarantees. There are 5 major points that will make Mississauga wealthy beyond reproach. And I haven't even started talking about my economic plan yet. I'm only talking about my societal plan. There's a lot going on in here that is really good for our society. And think about this, everybody. You would have a mayor who has no problem whatsoever taking on the left wing. They can say whatever they want. It's not going to make a shred of difference. It doesn't matter how much CBC cries. I'm still going to pursue the betterment of mankind with the authority that I'm going to have. And Mississauga's got quite a bit of it. Keep in mind, you've got the QEW, Highway 403, Highway 401, Highway 407, 410, 427, the entire airport and shipping docks. Mississauga's got power. And that city is not to be trifled with, especially with a guy like me in office. There's going to be a lot of ass kissing that's going to be done by other mayors and other councillors from other cities when they see how I'm doing things, because they've all tried to intimidate me and it's failed every single time. The truth is, as a journalist, guys, and I think we can all agree on this, when I walk in a room with a camera and a microphone, every politician goes, "Ah, it's him," and they split. So think about that. I'm not afraid of them because they're afraid of me. Tech, anything to say on that one?
I think we're pretty much at the wrapping this up part. I think that you're making a lot of promises, but that's what politicians do, ultimately.
I said guarantees. I didn't say promises.
You did. You said guarantees.
I said guarantees. I'm making sure we got that right. I said guarantee.
Improving our police force was one of your talking points. You can improve the economy. Can you also, since you're handing out these promises, can you cancel my student loan for me?
Well, I like you, so
I meant everybody. I meant student loans in general. I'd rather not pay it.
Student loans, because student loans are it's money, it's fiat currency. The money was created from nothing. I'm sure there's a legal way to get those debts to disappear. Now, I don't have the authority provincially to do that, but I will have access to the city lawyer and many other lawyers out there. I'm pretty sure that we could be heroes by finding out the legal way to get rid of your student debt and everybody else's. The student debt should not be a thing at all. Education should not be as expensive as it is, especially considering how lackluster it is in Canada.
I was more talking about you'd be making promises you couldn't keep.
I'm not going to promise that I can get rid of them, but I can promise that I would actually go out of my way to see what I can do on that one. And if there was going to be even this much chance to get rid of student loans, then I would help people get rid of them.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm okay standing up on stage saying, get the fist going. They're going to get rid of your student loans and then show them how to do it. I wouldn't get up there and promise if I didn't know how to do it. Everything else that I've guaranteed, I have a good idea on how to get done. Student loans, right now, I don't have a good idea to get that done. So I can't sit there and guarantee your student loans are going to be gone.
You don't have a plan, but I brought it up and you'll put some thought into it, is what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying. There's always a way.
And don't get me wrong, my student loan was the best weekend of my life. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ed.
Allie, go. So who's next? Go ahead.
Student loans, it's a provincial kind of thing. You really don't have jurisdiction over something like that as a mayor.
No, I didn't say I had jurisdiction. I said that I would have the ability to look into it and talk to all the lawyers necessary to find a legal way to get it done. I didn't say I had authority to do so. Look, everyone has to pay attention to the exact words I'm using. I am a wordsmith, but I'm not deceptive in my language. I'm very clear. My vocabulary is friggin' huge. So when I say that I guarantee something, God damn it, I guarantee it. But when I say that that is something that I would like to do, it doesn't mean I'm promising to do so or guaranteeing it. But it does mean that, like Keck has done, he's put the bug in my ear. I think it's a really good thing to look into, but I can't guarantee it because I don't know if I can.
But the other ones are guarantees.
Oh, damn right they are. Absolutely. The current mayor of the city of Brampton, Patrick Brown, he's a friggin' loser. He's a beta cuck. He's just, you know what he is? He's fly feces walking around with a smile on his face. That's all that he is. He's fly crap in a suit. That guy is going to back down from every single thing that I bring forward. You know, he really is useless. And there's no reason for my hometown to carry him and his baggage. Brampton and Caledon are nothing but baggage. They have no industry of any kind. There's no reason to be involved with them. Yanking Mississauga out is something that I would forcefully do if I had to. And believe me, I could rah up the entire city saying, we're going to take our city back. It wouldn't take long before I got the entire city interested in leaving, because I would just tell them, here's the facts. Here's how much it costs you to pay for Brampton. What if we got rid of Brampton and we dropped the property tax by $500? How's that sound? All of a sudden, we've got 1 million homeowners pretty damn excited to hear what I've got to say next. Hold on. Whoa, guys, hold on. Are you waiting for me? Oh, guys, he's waiting for me. I'm out. Got to go. I love you all. All right, guys. I'll see you Tuesday night.
Okay.
Bye. I didn't know this gentleman was waiting for me to leave.
All right.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, man. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.